I saw her leave that night and I knew, even before she stepped out, that something had changed. The door clicked shut behind her, a soft yet deliberate sound. Her heels clicked against the hallway tiles as she passed me, not a glance. Not a word, just the faint scent of jasmine from her perfume fading, leaving emptiness in its wake. "Girls' night," she said, tossing me a half-smile, careless, like the words themselves were a shield. I nodded, watched the taillights swallow her car, and let the silence fill the apartment. Silence had always been our companion. Lately, it had grown heavier, denser, almost tangible. I tried to ignore the cold in my chest, telling myself she was tired. Work, friends, she needed space. But the instinct, the gnawing in my gut, refused to quiet. I wandered through the apartment, eyes grazing over the small things she'd left behind. A scarf on the couch, her coffee cup, a lipstick stain at the rim. My stomach twisted at how ordinary it all seemed. Nothing screamed betrayal except the absence. That night I couldn't sleep. The bed felt wrong, too wide. The quiet hum of the city outside was sharp in its contrast to the storm inside me. I remembered her laugh from dinner, the one that used to fill the room like sunlight. Now it echoed somewhere distant, unreachable. I checked my phone obsessively, waiting for a message, a call, anything, but it stayed dark, and then the first hint. A notification, a friend tagged her in a picture. My heart lurched, a laughing selfie, wine glasses raised. But it wasn't the joy that struck me, it was the look in her eyes, not mine at all. I scrolled through the comments, trying not to breathe too loudly. Mentions of fun times, crazy night, and a name I didn't know. I froze. Not until I saw the angle, her hand brushing against his in the background of a blurry photo, did the world tilt beneath me. I sank to the couch, clutching my chest like it might hold itself together. My mind raced, spinning through memories, that week, her lateness, the canceled plans, her phone always face down, and now proof, subtle but undeniable, that she was somewhere else, with someone else. I wanted to scream. But there was no sound in the room, just the flickering light from my phone. I tried to rationalize, maybe it was innocent, maybe it meant nothing. But every rationalization crashed against the undeniable pull in my gut, betrayal. Hours passed like this. My apartment, once a home, felt like a stage set, hollow, abandoned. Every familiar corner reflected her absence. Her perfume lingered faintly, mocking me. Finally, I stood, moving to the window. Rain had begun, soft at first, then tapping insistently against the glass. The city lights blurred through the droplets. My reflection stared back at me, pale, haunted, unrecognizable. The phone buzzed again, a message from her. "Almost home. Can't wait to tell you all about it." I dropped the phone, the screen cracked against the floor with a sharp, clean sound. I sank again. The storm outside mirrored the storm inside, and in that quiet I realized nothing would ever feel the same. The door clicked, her key turned, and my world stopped. She came in laughing, a little tipsy, carrying a bag of takeout and the scent of someone else clinging faintly to her jacket. My hands trembled as I set the lights low, pretending the room was calm. "Hey, you're still up," she said, slipping off her coat. Her hair smelled faintly of wine and something else, subtle yet unmistakable. I nodded, words stuck. The apartment felt tighter, smaller. Every movement she made was amplified, the brush of her hand on the fridge, the clink of her takeout containers. I watched her eat, watched her laugh at stories I hadn't been part of. And in that laughter I saw him. Every smile she offered, every sparkle in her eye carried the shadow of someone else. I tried to reach out. "How was your night?" I asked, voice soft, almost fragile. "Oh, fun," she said, shrugging. "You'd have loved it." But I didn't, not anymore. Days bled into nights. She continued with life as if nothing had shifted, oblivious or unwilling to see the fracture between us. I wandered the apartment like a ghost, tracing our memories. Photos on the shelves, our favorite mugs, the jacket he'd brushed against hers, every object became a vessel for grief. Then came the subtle signs, notifications, messages she left open, a text she didn't notice on the couch. Mentions of him, casual but sharp, slicing through my patience. I never confronted her directly, not yet. I watched, listened, absorbed. Pain became my language, silence became my shield, and then the turning point. A friend mentioned seeing her at a cafe, laughing with someone tall, wearing the same jacket she'd worn that night. My hands clenched into fists. Rage and grief collided, but beneath it something else bloomed, clarity. I didn't want revenge, not yet. I wanted understanding. Closure, or maybe just a shard of the woman I once knew. I started documenting every subtle lie, every careless glance, every omission. It was meticulous work, quiet, like tending a wound that refused to heal. And then one evening the city lights blurred through rain-streaked windows and I realized I could not fix this, I could not save her or us. But I could prepare. She came back from work late, dragging her heels, exhausted. She expected quiet resentment, perhaps, or resignation. She didn't expect the envelope. It sat on the kitchen counter, unmarked, ordinary. But inside, photographs, conversations, evidence of her choices, small fragments pieced together. She froze. What is this?" she whispered, voice trembling. Her eyes darted between the photos, the texts, and me. "I wanted you to see it," I said softly, no anger, just quiet, unflinching truth. Her face paled. Guilt cracked the surface she'd carefully maintained for weeks. She didn't speak, she couldn't. I moved closer, but not too close. Respecting the distance that betrayal demands. You don't understand, I didn't mean." Her voice cracked. She wanted forgiveness, or maybe just denial. I shook my head. "I do understand more than you know. But that doesn't mean I forgive." She sank into a chair, trembling, silent. Her eyes glistened under the dim light. The apartment felt colder than ever. The rain had stopped, leaving the air damp, heavy, metallic. "You can stay, but just for tonight," I said finally. Not a threat, not a reconciliation, a pause. A liminal space where our shared history hung fragile, fragile as glass. She nodded, silent. I turned away, pretending to busy myself with nothing, knowing this night was not for comfort, not for love, but for truth. And somewhere deep beneath the ache, beneath the betrayal, I realized, seeing her break was not revenge. It was acceptance. Morning came soft, filtered through pale curtains. Light spilled across the empty apartment. She was still asleep, curled under the blanket that once held warmth. I made coffee, watched steam curl into the quiet. Listened to the city waking up. A subtle hum of life beyond our grief. She stirred, eyes red, silent tears tracing the curve of her cheeks. She didn't ask for comfort, she didn't reach. I sat opposite her, nursing my own ache, our shared history balanced on a knife edge. "You have to leave," I said finally, not with anger but with the calm of inevitability. Her lips quivered, she nodded, not fighting, not bargaining. She had known this moment would come. I walked her to the door. She paused, hand on the knob. For a second I thought she might say something, anything to mend the irreparable. She didn't. The door clicked behind her. Silence returned, empty, vast. Quiet, I exhaled. The city pulsed outside, indifferent, but inside, something shifted. I realized that love and pain can coexist, that forgiving without reuniting is possible, that letting go can be an act of quiet courage. She left twice, once with him and once when I finally let her go, and the apartment waited.